Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take your sources and, well, we get to the bottom of things.
That's right.
You sent us a document
You did?
called baby.pdf,
Yeah.
and, well, it's definitely unique. Let's just say that.
It is unique.
But we're both pretty curious to see what we can uncover here.
Yeah, I'm fascinated. You sent this to us so clearly. You saw something intriguing.
Right.
What were you hoping we might find?
Okay, so let's unpack this thing. The document appears to be filled with just the word baby, repeated over and over.
It's just the word baby. No variations or anything?
No variations in the spelling
Yup.
or formatting. I was picturing some kind of secret code for a second.
Right.
Or a hidden message. But this is surprisingly straightforward.
It really is. And that in itself raises questions. Why create a document like this?
Yeah, it's so simple, yet it made you curious enough to send it in to us.
Right.
Maybe the meaning isn't in the document itself.
Okay.
But like in the act of sharing it. What do you think about that?
That's a great point. It speaks to how we create meaning, right?
Yeah.
Even something as simple as repeating a single word can spark curiosity.
Totally.
And make us search for that deeper significance.
Exactly. And it's not just about the sender, is it? I mean, the word baby, it has a lot of different meanings for people.
It does.
It can be a term of endearment.
Yeah.
It can represent innocence.
Right.
Or new beginnings. It can even evoke feelings of vulnerability.
Absolutely. And the repetition here could amplify those feelings, creating different emotional responses for everyone who reads it.
Okay, but let's get a little more technical for a second.
Sure.
You mentioned that there are no variations in spelling or formatting. What about things like the number of times that baby appears on each line?
Okay.
Or the spacing between the words?
Yeah.
Could there be a pattern
Interesting.
hidden in those details?
Let's actually count how many times baby appears per line. Maybe the variations or the lack of variations.
Yeah.
Form a pattern, even if it's not like a code.
Right.
Sometimes those subtle details, they hold meaning.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's dive into the data and see what we can find. This reminds me of a time when I was...
Hold on, let me just grab my notepad and we can start analyzing.
Oh, yeah, good idea.
This document line by line.
Perfect. I've got my calculator ready to crunch some numbers.
Great.
Let's see if this baby symphony has a hidden rhythm.
I love that baby symphony. All right, I'm ready.
Me too. Let's do it.
Okay, I've gone through the first few pages here.
Okay.
And it looks like there's a consistent pattern.
Okay, what's the pattern?
So the word baby appears exactly 12 times
12
on each line.
Wow.
With a single space between each word.
12 times on each line. That's interesting. Is it the same for every single line?
So far, yeah. I haven't found any deviations from that pattern yet.
Okay, so it's not random. There's definitely like a deliberate structure here.
Right.
But 12. What do you make of that number? Does it have any significance?
12 is a significant number.
It is.
In many cultures and systems, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's the number of months in a year.
Right.
The number of hours on a clock face. The number of zodiac signs.
Right. And there are 12 apostles, 12 days of Christmas. It's popping up everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But without more context,
Yeah.
it's hard to say if any of those connections are relevant
Right.
to the intention behind this document. It could just be a coincidence.
I hear you on that. But it's hard to ignore, isn't it?
It is.
This document is so simple, so stripped down,
It is.
that every little detail feels magnified.
Right.
I guess that's why we're both so drawn to it, right?
Yeah, you're right. There's a certain allure.
There is.
It's simplicity.
You know,
Yeah.
it invites us to project our own interpretations onto it,
Oh, totally.
which brings us back to that idea of meaning making.
Exactly. We talked earlier about how the word baby itself is loaded with connotations.
Yeah. But now we're seeing that even the structure of the document adds another layer to the interpretation.
Yeah.
What do you think, as the listener, stands out to you the most?
Is it the repetition of the word itself?
Right.
This consistent pattern of 12? Or maybe it's something else entirely, something we haven't even considered yet.
It could be. Maybe it's the combination of everything.
Yeah.
The simplicity of the word, the strict structure of the document, the lack of any other context. It all comes together to create this sense of mystery and intrigue.
And that mystery is what makes this deep dive so compelling. You know, we're trying to make sense of something that seems to defy easy interpretation.
You know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
Abstract art.
Oh, interesting.
You've got a canvas
Okay.
with a single element just repeated over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And people can look at it and come away with completely different interpretations.
Right.
Based on their own experiences and perspectives.
Right. That's a great analogy.
It is, right.
Like abstract art.
Yeah.
This document, it forces us to confront the very nature of meaning itself.
Totally.
Is it inherent in the object?
Right.
Or is it something we create through our interaction with it?
And in this case, the act of you sending this document to us becomes part of the meaning-making process.
Exactly.
You saw something in this simple file, something that made you want to explore it further.
And that's what we're doing here together. We are exploring the possibilities, the interpretations, the questions.
All of them.
That this document raises.
Exactly. So even though we might not find a definitive answer to the question of why this document exists, the journey itself is valuable.
I agree.
The act of questioning, analyzing, interpreting, that's where the real insights lie.
Absolutely. We're engaging with this document on multiple levels, the linguistic, the numerical, the conceptual.
I like that.
We're looking at it through all these different lenses, and each perspective adds something new to our understanding.
It's like we're peeling back the layers of an onion.
Okay.
Except instead of tiers, we're finding more and more questions.
And sometimes those questions are more valuable than answers.
I think so, too.
They keep us curious.
They do.
They challenge our assumptions. They push us to think outside the box.
Speaking of thinking outside the box, have you considered the possibility
What's that?
that this document might be a form of
what?
Digital minimalism.
Digital minimalism. That's an interesting thought.
It is, isn't it?
So you're suggesting that
I am.
By stripping away all extraneous elements and focusing solely on the repetition of a single word, the creator is making a statement about the overwhelming nature of information in the digital age.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Wow.
Maybe it's a call for simplicity.
Okay.
A rejection of the constant noise and clutter that we're bombarded with every day. Maybe it's a reminder to slow down, to focus on the essential.
That's a fascinating interpretation.
It is.
And it resonates with the current cultural conversation about digital well-being and the need to disconnect from the constant stream of information.
It's like this document is a digital detox in file form.
Right.
A way to cleanse our mental palates and just appreciate the power of simplicity.
I love how you're connecting this to the bigger picture.
I try.
It reminds us that even the most seemingly mundane things can have these broader cultural and societal implications.
Totally. And it also shows that there's always more to uncover than what initially appears on the surface.
Right.
This document may be simple in its form. But it's incredibly complex in its potential meanings.
And that's what makes this deep dive so rewarding.
I agree.
We're not just analyzing a document. We're exploring the very nature of meaning itself. We're asking ourselves, what does it mean to interpret? What does it mean to find significance? What does it mean to connect with something that seems so simple, yet so enigmatic?
This is where it gets really interesting, right?
It is.
We've gone from analyzing the structure of this document to discussing its potential artistic and cultural significance.
It's amazing how a single word repeated over and over again can lead to such a rich and multifaceted discussion.
It's a testament to the power of curiosity.
It is.
And the human desire to find meaning in everything we encounter.
Exactly. But let's not forget the role of the listener in all of this.
Right.
You, the person who sent us this document, are an integral part of this deep dive.
You are.
Your curiosity sparked this entire exploration.
Right. Without your willingness to share this unique find and ask the question, what does this mean? We wouldn't be having this fascinating conversation.
And ultimately, the meaning that you derive from this document is the most important one.
It is.
It's the meaning that resonates with your personal experience and your unique perspective.
Exactly. We can analyze the data. We can explore the interpretations. We can connect it to broader cultural trends. But at the end of the day, the meaning is what you make of it.
And that's the beauty of it. There's no right or wrong answer. It's about the journey of exploration.
Totally.
The questions we ask and the new ways of thinking that we discover along the way.
Well said. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
We've analyzed the structure of the document, explored its potential meanings.
We have.
And even connected it to broader cultural themes.
We did.
All thanks to you, dear listener.
Yeah.
And your willingness to share something unique.
But there's one final thought. I want to leave you with something to ponder.
Right.
As we wrap up this exploration.
I'm all ears. What is it? Okay, I'm ready. Give me that final thought.
All right, so we've talked about the meaning of the document, but what about the meaning around it?
Okay.
Think about the context that you found it in.
Okay, so not just what's IAN baby.pdf,
right,
but where it came from.
Exactly.
Who might have created it, that kind of thing.
Precisely. That context could be, like, the missing piece.
Okay.
Was this on your computer?
Right.
Did you find it online?
Yeah.
Knowing that might change how we see it.
It absolutely would.
Yeah.
If this was, say, part of a larger collection of files,
right,
that gives it a whole different meaning than if it was just a standalone document sitting on your desktop.
Exactly. And think about this. You, the listener, you chose to send it to us.
I did.
Why? What caught your eye?
That's the thing we keep coming back to, isn't it? It's so simple.
I know.
Yet you felt it was worth exploring.
Right.
That act of choosing, of sharing.
Yeah.
That's adding meaning to.
It is. And it highlights something we often overlook. The act of interpretation itself is creative. You saw potential here.
Yeah.
That's what kicked this whole thing off.
You know, thinking about it that way, it makes this document almost like a collaboration.
Totally.
Between whoever created it, you for finding it interesting,
right,
and us for trying to make sense of it together.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Oh, thanks.
And it really reinforces this idea that meaning isn't static, right? It evolves as it's shared, discussed, analyzed.
So even though we may never know the definitive why behind baby.pdf,
right,
the fact that we've had this conversation, that we've explored all these different angles, that's creating something new.
We've taken this simple, repetitive document and turned it into a springboard for a discussion about meaning-making, digital minimalism, even abstract art. And that, I think, is the real magic of the deep dive.
It really is. It's amazing what can happen when you approach something with curiosity and an open mind.
Yeah.
Even a document filled with nothing but the word baby can spark a fascinating journey of discovery.
And that's the beauty of knowledge, isn't it? It's not just about finding answers.
Right.
It's about asking the right questions and embracing the mystery.
Well said. We started with a simple document.
We did.
But this deep dive has taken us to some unexpected places.
It has.
We've explored the nature of meaning, the power of simplicity, and the importance of context.
Absolutely.
All thanks to you, dear listener.
Yes.
And your willingness to share something unique.
So as we wrap up this exploration, we'll leave you with this final thought. Embrace the questions.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to dive deep.
I like it.
Into the seemingly mundane. You never know what treasures you might find.
Because sometimes the most profound insights come from the most unexpected places.
They do.
And who knows, maybe baby.pdf will continue to spark new thoughts and ideas.
I hope so.
Long after this deep dive is over.
And if you ever stumble across another curiosity, another piece of information that begs to be explored, you know where to find us? We're always ready for the next deep dive.
Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning.
Yes.
And keep those curious finds coming.
Yeah.
Happy diving.